for three surfers that have been giving us some very exciting performances so far through the earlier rounds. Joel Parkinson racking up near perfect rides in his run to round 4. Italo has dropped the 10-point ride already for a single move on this long right-hander. And John Florence, well, he dodged a bullet in the third round in the form of Mikey Wright to earn his place in the draw.
The winds have kind of turned the opposite direction, but I thought there wasn't going to be any barrels, but somehow John will sniff one out. Beautiful work there for John. I mean, he is most likely the best barrel rider in the world. You wouldn't think of anybody else, really. I mean, Kelly, yeah, Jamie O'Brien, but John, backhand, forehand, and his consistency in barrel riding. And there, little spin to finish.
Just a tidy little ride to get things started here. 6.17. The 22-year-old.
I think he's one of those guys could actually do a 720.
Well, maybe we'll see one here. This way,
fingers crossed.
Not really standing up. Italo always gets back on that tail and just waits for the wave to do its thing before he gets up. A ton of speed. Oh, just gets that one wrong. Got a little sticky on the lip. Joel Parkinson now. Let's see if he can tap back into that relationship, that beautiful relationship he has with Snapper Rocks. Kicks the tail. He gets caught up in the lip.
Too bad.
So John Florence is going to outdo his rivals in the opening exchange by a really decent margin.
You know, again, his strength here would be obviously wave choice, but also that rail work.
Well, here goes Florence, and he is looking for a solid backup now. He wants to get it early. He wasn't able to do it in his round 3 heat. Kind of went right down to the wire, and he relied on a mistake from Mikey Wright.
You had mentioned right before that exchange happened about how important this was for him to kind of show resilience.
And my hair. But here we go. Italo taking off now. Can definitely let go of some big backhand turns. Doesn't necessarily have to go to the air. But in a heat with so much talent, he might just have to. Loading up for something big on the inside. Sets the fins free for a moment. Climbs up into the roof. Drops that tail down. And sticks it. 21 minutes to go. That'll be Italo's best ride. Just had a throwaway prior to that. So he'll get himself back in this heat.
You know, this is actually a good wave to kind of showcase Italo's kind of back to front foot balance. You know, he uses that to his advantage in his aerials, but he really uses it too in the way that he can drift over the lip. There's 2 turns here that he does at the end. They're a combo where he gets that drift of the lip, and that's where he's been able to unweight off his back foot to get the drift and stay planted and balanced. And then when he lands, here it is, drift, comes down, and then the float, you can see again unweights and weights back, and that's that balance back to front foot. He has this really
inline skates into the competitors area with his hair permed. And it was all fun and games for him back then. You can tell now that, you know, he really wants to keep this position at the top end of the rankings. So here we go. John Florence now with an opportunity. Nice first turn. Really ironing out the lumps in the face of this wave. As he waits for it to wall up one more time. Threw a clean little spinner at the start of this heat. Let's see if he can launch something a bit higher on the inside now. And that is a better version in my opinion, and he's still going down the line, Pete. Hammering away now. That was a solid turn. And again, mixing it up, laying it back, and really throwing a lot of water.
I love when you look at something and you see it happening, and then all of a sudden it surprises you. And that was exactly the case. The air, yeah, we know we can do those, but that little layback snap was perfectly timed, and all of a sudden that's why you saw that big flare sparks come off his rail.
Well, he wasn't really tested in the first round, was he? No one really applied the pressure to the world champion. But Mikey Wright gave him a good nudge, getting the better of him in an exchange in their round 3 heat. John's not making any mistakes now. He looks like he's got a game plan in mind. He's trying to really put it into action here in the early stages. Joel Parkinson not tapping back into the rhythm that saw him fetch big numbers yesterday.
Well, there's the replay of John. So he got a nice turn on the outside. That was beautiful too. You know, it takes great technique to be able to carve a move through the bumps like that, you know, it's a different type of pressure that you would use if the face was super clean. And you got to read that and understand it. Know what your board's going to do. Be in tune with your equipment, and that's what he does. But that last little layback snap right here, whack, just a little karate chop to the lip.
Last heat with Mikey Wright, and so I think he's just trying to make the right decisions.
Well, there you go. Back to live action, guys. And John just clocked in an 8. I'm sorry.
A solid number, and he's out in front. And Italo now needs a 7.35 out of this wave to get into the lead. Great to hear from Ross. Miss you, mate. Sorry, Pete, but I do. I miss him.
It's all right, bro.
Italo's still working this one over.
You still hang out with him. Don't get you know, like.
I've barely seen him this trip.
It's true, though, right? I mean, I felt like I was going to see more of him, too, but we haven't. You know,
he's a busy man.
Here.
Joel Parkinson trying to get back in this heat.
You know, I thought it was going to be something where we'd see Joel on the best waves. And so far, he's been struggling to find those really clean walls and the ones that actually stand up all the way through. And then a lot of times you'll get on the wrong side of priority. It seems like that might be the case here.
There's some surfers on the championship tour, though, that you just know are more comfortable in that head-to-head heat. It's like that's where they really get to play that chess match. That's where they really get to flex their wave selection. And Joel in this three-man is just really struggling to tap into that rhythm. He's on the wrong side of the order at the moment.
Now we have Italo again. He's finding those waves that are got that elbow in it, you know, that little crease in it, because it will end up hitting the shallow portion, and this is where it does it. Nice connection with the lip again. But that wave runs off with him, and just on that backhand, it's not like you're not going out there to, I'm not going to get a 9. You know, you're going out there and surfing what you have in front of you. You know, the conditions obviously conducive to whatever's out, you know, what your scores are going to be. But I think he's obviously got big scores in him.
John Florence threw everything at that section. Didn't quite stick it, though. It was kind of an awkward landing, too.
That would have been so awesome if he had planted it. So I would have sent myself through the roof of this tent.
9 minutes to go. Let's have another look at it. What goes wrong here, Pete?
Well, everything goes right at first. You see, look at that little section. It's perfect, begging for it. Gets the grab, and when he wants to go really high, that grab, and you see releases to land. And just what happened is he wasn't able, because he landed in the transition, you saw that back foot hit first, and it actually kind of made the board kind of move just a little bit, and his front foot wasn't able to land on it. Just being limber, you know, and being able to have your appendages bend every so often and not get injured.
Joel Parkinson having a look at this one. Slices back. Just nothing has panned out for him in this heat so far. He has really connected with some of the best waves of the event window on his way to getting those big scores. He surfed them so well. Definitely has a bit of that edge back that saw him claim a world title in 2012. But this heat's been a bit of a shocker. And with 7.5 minutes to go, something special is going to happen if he's going to make that jump past round 5 into the quarters.
Has a nice 3-wave set. Be able to pick up maybe that second or third wave. That might change.
Italo trying to throw something exciting on that first turn option, but doesn't quite stick it. And he'll now swing on the inside. This wave has a lot of foam on the face. Joel couldn't get into it. And he almost makes the turn this time, but it was really just a one-turn wave. Just the ability to smooth out that bump on the face with those first couple of turns really paid off for him, and he showed some real commitment on the inside as well. So your current heat leader up once again and looking to get rid of a 6.17. And behind him, Joel Parkinson. Just still struggling to find that set wave. Bit of foam on the face. Nice little slice there. Needs this wave to grow down the line so he can get a couple of big turns done. and it's not going to happen for him. So just under 2 minutes remaining now. I think my car's probably been towed away. So
Did
pretty
you get creative in your parking?
got creative with the parking. But here we go. Italo up once again. Not out of reach for the Brazilian. Needs a 7.35, and we know he's got the moves to do it. He's got some speed to burn here, and a lightning quick reverse, and has more, and he'll whip it once again, but doesn't ride out of that last turn. He might have needed that.
It's important. Got some rhythm, couple snaps, and this wave did clean up. You know, it's one of those third waves of the set, so it's not nearly as choppy as what we had seen earlier, as that reverse was nice, especially how quick he rotated in and out of it, but the missed opportunity there if he'd pulled that one off.
He's so tricky. The thing about Italo that's so enjoyable to watch is the speed in which he executes those moves, but he is going to finish up in second place. John Florence marching on through to the quarterfinals with a heat score total of 14.17, consistently putting up reasonably decent heat score totals there. A couple of solid numbers, getting into the excellent range once again.